Hello, I am Deborah Yavas from CaliforniaSoapCompany.com. In this video, I will show you how to make chandelier style earrings. With the variety of beads available, your options are endless, so dig into your bead box and find out what you have available. In my examples, I used 6mm and 4mm beads, though other sizes will work just as good. The tools you will need for this project are wire cutters, round nose pliers, and needle nose pliers. The components you will need are as follows: earring components of your choice, 8 6mm beads, 16 4mm beads, 6 4mm heishi beads, 2 2 and 3 loop links, 2 1 and 2 loop links, 6 4-inch head pins. You will not be using the entire head pin, so save the extra pieces you don't need for another project. This is the framework for this project. The first step will be making simple loops for the 3 lower white 4mm beads. Drop a 4mm bead onto a head pin. I use my pliers to gauge where to cut the head pin. In this case, my pliers are 5mm wide, so I'll cut the head pin off there. That enables me to make identical sized loops. Now I'll take the wire and wrap it around my round nose pliers. As you can see, it's a little off-centered, so I am going to insert the round nose pliers again, back it up a little bit to center it, and then I'll use my pliers to close the loop. And you'll want to make 6 of these for this project. Here's what the finished loop looks like. We have just completed the lower loop on this project. The next segment we will be making is the segment just above the last bead. This includes a 6mm, the heishi bead, and the 4mm bead. We will be making loops on both sides of this segment. Take one of your head pins and create a loop at one end. Make sure it's centered. Now we're going to drop the beads onto our head pin. First, add the 6mm bead, then the 4mm heishi, and finally the 4mm bead. Again, using the pliers as a gauge where to cut the wire. I cut the wire and then create a loop on the opposite side. Now this loop will be going in the opposite direction that the first loop went. And they are parallel, not perpendicular loops. And I will show you the path that the wire is taking. It's kind of like an S. One direction and the other direction. Here is a look at our project so far. We have the lower 1 bead segment, and then we have the middle 3 bead segment. Now we will attach the 2 segments, open up the loop at the bottom of the 3 bead segment, and attach the 1 bead segment. This is what the 2 segments look like after they've been attached. We've created the lower half of these earrings. Now we will start from the top and go down. So the next segment we're going to do is the 1 6mm bead segment, and this will have 2 loops, one on each side. First, create a loop on one end of the head pin. Add your 6mm bead. Create the loop on the other side, again in the opposite direction as the first loop. You can use your pliers to straighten them out. Now this is what the loop looks like. Again, the wire is in the shape of an S. Add this segment to your earring finding. And repeat that process for the other one. Add the 1 and 2 loop segments to your project. Now we will create a 4mm bead segment. Again, we will make a loop on one end of the head pin, add our 4mm bead, make a loop in the opposite direction, and now we will attach this to our project. And you can go ahead and repeat that 3 more times. Now I'm going to add the 2 and 3 loop link to the project. This gets a little tricky. Just take your time and don't force the components together. The last step is to add the lower dangles to the piece, opening up the upper loop and attaching it to the link. And I'm just adjusting it so it hangs a little nicer. And you're going to repeat that 5 more times. Here is a look at our final piece. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I would like to encourage you to visit CaliforniaSoapCompany.com. Thank you. Have a good day.